Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cheryl. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're a new viewer, hello, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm so excited to see you. Well, I can't see you, but you know what I mean. I apologize for the sunlight. I tried to... Okay, is that better? Not really. The sun just came out just as I started recording. I apologize. I also apologize for my hair. It's not good. Also, I do realize I'm wearing the same sweater as my last video. I'm not apologizing because I love this sweater. Anyways, this is a bookish video. Welcome. And this is a very late February reading wrap up. I apologize it took so long. I really have no excuse. I just didn't do it. So I'm looking at my phone to see what books I read in February. So let's get started. Grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, maybe a crafting project, and let's get started. Now I do realize in my last video the words are hard, people. I started using a new editing software, and I couldn't figure out how to put the picture of the book like to the side. I think I figured it out now, so if I did, it'll be on the side of my face. If not, either side. I don't know which side. If not, it will be right in front of my face. So you're welcome. Okay, so the first book I read in February, we're going to go in the order of the books that I read. The first book was When the Crow's Away by Orly Wallace. This is a paranormal cozy mystery. It is about a lady who is a witch, and she has two aunts who are witch, and they run a B&B. And in the first book, which was called... I don't remember what it was called. Hang on, I read it earlier this year. Maybe I didn't read it earlier this year. I must have read it last year. Anyways, When the Crow's Away is the second book, and it was really good. So it does delve into grief, because the first book we find out that the main character's husband died. And so, not on page, but like she remembers it because he died recently in the book. And so there's a lot of grief in the story. And in the second book, there is still a lot of grief. Now, in this book, the main character, I forget her name, but she can see ghosts. And so she helps give last messages from ghosts to, or spirits, ghosts basically, to their family members. And that lets the ghosts cross the line and go into the afterworld. So that's how she helps people solve their murders. In this book, a grumpy man comes to her as a ghost and says, "Hey, I think I was murdered. Can you help me?" And that's how the second book goes on. I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I read it physically, and I really enjoyed it. That came out in 2022, so the next book hopefully will come out this year. I'm very excited to read it. I do love it. There is heavy topics in the book. It's not as quote-unquote cozy as some books, because it does deal with grief and death, and it's not always easy to read, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Next, I read Secluded Cabin Sleep 6 by Lisa Unger. This is a thriller about 6 people. A lady, her husband, her brother, his wife, and then 2 friends go to a secluded cabin. And they get stuck there because of a rainstorm, a thunderstorm, and murders happen. And it was really good. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't my favorite book. I read this as a buddy read with my friend Jess. I did really enjoy it, but talking to her about it, I don't know how I feel about it. I think 4 stars is a good, I think that's that is a suitable rating for me, because I did enjoy it, but it wasn't 5-star material. I did enjoy it. I liked them being stuck there from a thunderstorm instead of snowstorm. I thought that was cool. I think it was a thunderstorm. Might have been a snowstorm, but I think it was a thunderstorm. And they're stuck because the tree fell down across the road. That's what happened, right? There was a lightning strike, it struck the tree, and it fell down. And there's a past timeline where you meet this boy growing up. And there is a connection, but it takes a while to find out what the connection is. Sorry. I did guess the plot twist halfway through the book, but not the final twist. I didn't guess that. So it was surprising. I did enjoy it. And I will read more Lisa Unger, I think. So she writes thrillers most of the time, I believe. So next, I read Whiskers and Lies by Sophie Kelly. This is a magical cats mystery. This book was a cozy mystery. And again, it's magical cats. So there's 2 cats, Owen and Hercules. I don't remember which is which, but one of them can disappear randomly and reappear. The other one can walk through walls. And they help the main character, whose name I think is Kathleen, solve murders. And I loved it. I thought it was sweet. It was an audiobook I listened to. The narrator was wonderful, and I gave it 5 stars, I believe. It was really good. I'll try to leave my Goodreads page down below if you want to follow me or if you want to see my reviews. I try to review as many books as I can, and I do accept friends on Goodreads. The only thing is I do request, please, it is not a dating site. Please do not friend me just because you want to get to know me better that way. It is a reading site. I talk books on it. That's all I talk about. So please, it's not a dating site, so please don't do that. You will be deleted and blocked if you're not talking about books. I mean, the number of men who have come on my Goodreads and said, have you read 50 Shades of Grey? I mean, not every woman who reads has read 50 Shades of Grey, first of all. Second, no shade to anybody who does, but I'm not into that, and as soon as you ask that, it's red flags, because that's usually their first question. And it's like, no, let's not talk about that. So anyways, that was a rant. That was a tangent. Sorry about that. But if you want to join me on Goodreads and just talk books, of course I'll accept you. So yeah, I'll link it down below. But anyways, the next book I read was Legends and Latte by Travis Baldree. Now this book I did really enjoy. It is a graphic novel. No, it's not a graphic novel. Why did I say that? I don't know. It is not a graphic novel. It is a cute book. I really enjoyed it. It is about this orc who is a mercenary killer, and she decides she doesn't want to live that life anymore, so she goes to a small town where she wants to open a coffee shop, and in this small town there's a bunch of different creatures, and it's all about opening the coffee shop in a place where nobody knows what coffee is. And it's really fun. She hires a succulent, and she comes and they become friends, and she helps her with her coffee shop, and then they end up having a love story, and it was so good. It was so good. It was cute. It's it's considered cozy fantasy for a reason, because it's so cute. Very slow going. It's basically all about coffee. If you love coffee, you'll love this book. It is so good. So I gave that 5 stars. And then I read Death on the Emerald Isle by Terry Farley Moran. That's her name. Or Jessica Fletcher, who is the character, but it says it's by her. So this is a Murder, She Wrote book, the newest one that's come out, and I really enjoyed this book. I read it by audio. I listened to it by audio. My brother's always saying it's not read by audio, it's listened to by audio. Either way, it was a good book. I'm not here to argue on that. Sorry. What's it called again? I forget what it's called. Or Death on the Emerald Isle. So that was about Jessica Fletcher, who is an author who solves murders. If you've seen the Murder, She Wrote series, TV series that was on years and years ago, this is her books. The same characters, but updated into now time, like present time. So, and in Death on the Emerald Isle, Jessica takes the place of someone who broke her leg and can't be at this big award ceremony for authors in Ireland. And so she asked Jessica to go in her place, so Jessica goes there. And just before she leaves to go to Ireland, her neighbor asks her to bring some special paintings that her father or grandfather, I can't remember who, but someone had painted and she wanted to give them to her family members in Ireland. So she asked Jessica to bring them and give them to them. And this whole starts a whole thing, and there's a murder, and part of the family that Jessica went to visit and give the paintings to are suspected of murder, and she solves it, and it's a wonderful book. I loved it, really good. So that one was really good. I think I gave it 4 stars. I might have given it 5 stars. I think I gave it 5 stars actually. Next, we have Slashing Through the Snow by Jacqueline Frost. I listened to this on audio through Scribd. I had a Scribd membership for a while, and that is written by Jacqueline Frost, aka Gillian Lindsay. I really enjoyed this book. It was the 3rd book, I think, in the Christmas Tree Farm Mysteries. I realized I hadn't listened to it yet, and I thought I did, but I didn't. So I went and listened to it. Really good. It's about a lady who works at her, is it parents or grandparents? I can't remember. I think it's her grandparents' Christmas tree farm. And one of the, they opened a B&B or a hotel kind of thing there. And one of the, I keep saying, sorry, I'm really tired. One of the guest there gets murdered, and she helps to solve it. Well, she does solve it, as all amateur sleuths do, in cozy mysteries at least. So that was good. I gave it 5 stars, I believe. Next, I read As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. That is the 3rd book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series trilogy. I can't see my ratings on this. I believe I gave it 5 stars, but I may have given it 4 stars. I'm sorry. I don't remember, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Now, I started reading the 3rd book probably about a year ago, and I wasn't getting into it. And this time, I listened to it by audio and really enjoyed it this time. I think I listened to it by audio. I might have read it. I'm not even sure. I know I had the book out. I think I read part of it and listened to part of it on audio. Not immersion, but just I read some of it and then I listened to the rest, something like that. It was really good. I enjoyed it. So The Good Girl's Guide to Murder is the 1st book, and in that book we learn about our main character who is doing a big project at her school as kind of like her biggest project at school, like at the end of the school before she graduates. I don't know what it's called. We don't have one of those in Canada, but it's like a big thesis type thing. And she decides to do that report on a cold case, on a murder that happened 5 years before, 10 years before, something like that, where this girl was murdered, and the guy that supposedly murdered her was found after he committed suicide. The thing is the main character doesn't think that he actually did it, and she becomes friends with this guy's brother, and they investigate together the murder. And it's a trilogy. It's really good. The 3rd book gets really dark and goes places I did not think it would go, but it was really good. And the ending, I just stared at the wall for like 10 minutes straight. It was so good. And there's a love story, and it does go pretty dark by the 3rd book. In the first 2 books, there are possible triggers for people in that as well. There is talk of, in the 3rd words, the 1st book deals with the death of, I remember the murder girl's name was Andy Bell, but I don't remember what the main character's name is, but it deals with the main character trying to find out what happened to Andy, and so there's talk of some dark stuff in that book. The 2nd book goes a bit darker. The 3rd book deals with drugs and stuff like that, so that was a little bit dark. Also, just to mention, in the 3rd book, the girl is dealing with PTSD from the murder solving before she had been attacked and stuff from the other 2 books. She's having problems with PTSD, and she gets a prescribed drug. I forget which one now. I've taken it before, and I can't remember what it's called. But she takes the prescribed drug for a while, but when the doctor says she doesn't need it anymore, she buys it illegally. Now, I'm just saying, that's kind of like that kind of bothers me because, first of all, the amount she takes is not an overdose. It's not like a dangerous amount, and she keeps saying that it's dangerous. It's not dangerous, honey. It's not dangerous. That's a normal amount for those pills. And I just found that weird that she was worried about overdosing when that's not an overdose. That's not considered an overdose. So that bothered me. It felt like the author didn't do a research on that. And I felt kind of bad because the doctors, if they knew she was going through this, if she had told them she was going through this, they would have continued prescribing the pill. I really believe that. So that kind of bothered me a bit that she felt she had to go and get the pill illegally. Anyways, that's just my thoughts. I've been on that medication. I forget which one it was, but I've been on that medication, and the dose she was taking was not an overdose. Just saying. Okay. And then I read If You've Got It Haunted, and that is by, I forget who it's by, Rose Pressy Betancourt? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. The next two books I read were by her. The first one was If You've Got It Haunted. This is a cozy mystery about a lady who owns a vintage store. And she goes, I listened to this on audio, and she goes to a big estate sale where someone has been passed away. And she goes, this all happens in the first chapter. She goes to this estate sale and she sees a ghost. And she realizes that she could see ghosts. The whole scene there was hilarious. And the ghost happens to be the lady that died. And they realized they could see each other. That whole scene was really funny. It was really good. And then the main character and the ghost team up to solve the ghost murder and how she died. And that was really good. I gave that... what did I give that? I think I gave it 5 stars. I can't, my phone doesn't work right. I think I gave it 5 stars. The next one is by the same author, and it was Murder Can Mess Up Your Masterpiece. This is a different series. It is again a cozy mystery by the same author, but it's about a lady who starts going to like roadside fairs, like what are they called, craft fairs, and she is a painter, and she paints a picture one time, and for some reason she can see this person in real life as a ghost, and this ghost comes from the 19th century or something like that, and it's the exact picture that she painted, which is just weird. And they solve the murder as well, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like this author very much. Her name again is Rose Pressy Betancourt. I really enjoy her audiobooks. Were really good. I enjoyed it. It was a paranormal one again. They can see ghosts. They're really good. I gave them 5 stars. And the last book I read in February was a middle grade. It is called Winnie's Great War, and this book was such a cute book. It is the true story of Winnie the Pooh. So if you don't know, Winnie, who became Winnie the Pooh, is a Canadian. He was in the Great War, in the World War I. He was a mascot for the Canadian whatever it's called, infantry, whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called, and that's pathetic. I'm Canadian. But this is the story of Winnie's life, and it was beautiful. It was told in Winnie's point of view, which I don't always like, but I really liked it this time. It was really cute, and it's told... It was actually... No, wait, it wasn't told in Winnie's point of view. It was told in Omniscient point of view, but it was told as the great-great-granddaughter of the owner who had Winnie, was telling her son the story. And as she was telling the story, she was calling Winnie your bear to the little kid because the little kid had a stuffed animal. So she's saying, your bear thought this, and your bear said this, and all that stuff. And in the story, the bear can talk to other animals, but humans, of course, can't understand her. And I was going to call him a him. It's a her. I forgot Winnie's a she. And it was just such a good book. It was so beautiful. And there is a little bit of sadness there. It's about a war. So people die in war, and that was a little bit sad at one point, but it was really well done. I think it was really made for middle grade, which you don't read a lot of middle grades that were like that you could see a middle grader reading sometimes. And this one, I can definitely see a middle grader reading and enjoying and getting something out of it. It was really good. So that was by, I forgot to say who that was by, Lindsay Maddock, who is the great-granddaughter, I think, or great-granddaughter, I don't remember, of the man who first bought Winnie and brought him to war as his mascot. And I really enjoyed that book. It was really good. It was sweet. It was short. It was really good. Gave it 5 stars. Really enjoyed it, and I want to reread it now. And those are all the books I read in February. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I read 10 books, so that's pretty good. I enjoyed all of the books. There's not one I gave lower than a 4-star, I believe. Nope, not one I gave below 4 stars. So that was really fun. I really enjoyed my reading month in February. So yeah, I think my favorite book of the month would be... Oh, that's a hard one. Probably Winnie's Great War, actually. I really enjoyed that book. I thought it was really well done. So, and it was fun learning about Winnie. I mean, I knew the basic story of Winnie. I keep forgetting that she's a she. I kept thinking Winnie's a he, but she's a she. And I've never learned the complete story of Winnie. The book does have pictures of Winnie, too, as well. Real life pictures of Winnie, and that was really fun. And it was just so good. It does have notes of some of the diary that the owner of Winnie made in his journal when he was at war, little notes about Winnie, and that was fun to read. It's all in his handwriting and everything, which was really cool. I really enjoyed it. So I think I gave that one, I think that one's probably my favorite of February. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry again about the sun. And let me know what your favorite book of February was. Yeah, I really enjoyed February. I had a great reading month that month. This whole year has been a great reading year so far, so I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, we're just going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, morning, wherever time you are. And God bless. Bye, guys.